Live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rise Up Show. And today we have Shikha Khanna. I'm excited to host her today because she is someone that amazes me. I met her at, was one of our clients in the Launch Lab. And Shikha is a self-portrait photographer who has studied photography from International College of Professional Photography. She's also a visual content coach and a self-portrait expert. She's currently heading a global self-portrait movement in which is she featuring 100 moms across the globe in a coffee table book, 100 self-portrait, 100 dreams. She was possibly India's first photographer who specialized in photographic newborn babies, new moms, pets, and families. She had photographed more than 1,000 families over the last 20 years. She runs a company under the name of Kids Say Cheese. She also has done perfect projects for schools, poets, and special social causes, including some featuring street children, and she has won numerous awards over the years. Shikha has been teaching photography for the past 10 years and now specializes in teaching iPhone photography. She likes to work with natural light and shoot people in their own environment. She believes that every human face has beautiful inner light, and she likes to capture the light in her photography. Also, today, she's going to share some tips on how to take that self-portrait that you can use in your social media business and actually attract your clients. She also shared her inspiring story. I can't wait to introduce her. So we got Shikha Khanna. Hey, how are you doing, Shikha?
Very good, Eden. Thank you for inviting me and having this conversation. Likewise, I've had a very interesting conversation with you, and I'm totally inspired the way you're living and doing things as well. So, thank you for inviting. This is going to be a good conversation for sure.
Thank you indeed. I can't wait that we will dive in. So how did you start all of it? The
Do you want to know the
movement and
truth? Like,
photography,
are you talking about the movement, or are you talking about the photography part?
the movement that you're creating right now.
Okay. So photography was like started almost 22, 23 years back, and there's a lot of interesting stories of how I started it. But let me just fast forward the entire thing and come here. Me working with mums for almost 20, 22 years. When I started, and of course, I also in India, there were no formal courses. And when I started the courses, when I started studying, I was the youngest photographer. I was all of 18 years old, and they were all professional photographers who joined this course. And in India, they had come from Melbourne. It was a 3-year course. And they taught us, when you talk to your clients, you ask them what they want, and then you give them what they want, and that's how they get happy. So I was following all the rules, and I don't know how I was following the rules, but I was following all the rules, and I realized that every time I ask mothers what they want, they always give me a long list of what they never wanted. And they don't want dark circles to come in the shoot. They don't want their new look. They don't want their hair to look like that. They don't want this angle. They don't want that. They don't want to wear these clothes. And well, I realized the more they noticed and told me what they didn't want, my pictures were showing that more, because it had become right forefront and conscious that I don't want this, I don't want this. So I started deleting that whole concept when it came to moms, and I just started showing up spontaneously. I would take the calls, and I'm like, I'll be there. As long as you have natural light in your house, I'll be there. So I mastered my natural light because equipment was scaring people as well. And I decided to make photo shoots a fun part. And then what happened was that by the time I left, I not only had great lunches and dinners with them, unlike most photographers, I would be like hosted because everybody had a party time shooting. And by the time I left out and I gave them the pictures, people realized this light that had just come on their face and they didn't recognize that person. And they wondered how and why it happened. And so I started to be known for bringing that light in people's faces when they had lost it. And that only happened because I only had a very narrow thing of. So when mothers, I realized that this whole thing was bothering them. So I'd worked with mother, uplifting their spirits and making them feel awesome and loved, even if they were in their pajamas. Because when the light rises in your face, we can never look bad. We cannot. It's not possible, even if you're not dressed up or whatever. And then I became a mom 8 years back. Well, all the gyan that I was giving, you're beautiful, you're nice, you're amazing, why do you feel like this, all came and sat like a gift on me. And I ignored it for some time because I was still doing shoots and I never needed to be in front of the camera. So I was like, ignore it. And I kept on ignoring that voice of self negative chat. But it kept on coming on me year by year by year. And the more harder I worked, like it was just coming on me. And
Mm.
8 years, 6 years later, I had my second one. And 4 months later, there was COVID that hit. And then you had to pivot online, right? So now pivot online means show up in your full potential. And when you're trying to not show up, and you have done that work with others, you exactly know what you're up to in your mind. So I knew that I was not wanting to show up, and I had to resolve it. I had to resolve this thing that happens to a lot of mothers. And when I started taking some horrible pictures of mine, which I thought were horrible, I don't think that anymore. And I looked tired and I looked not myself. And then I got out of it, did a lot of self work, and got out of it. And then I wanted to launch a course. In order to launch the course, I started researching and started talking to mothers across the world, just because you said avatar and all that. So I was like, let's talk to them. I was amazed that it was not my country that people felt. I thought maybe India has a lot of traditions, so we feel like that. But it was across the world that mothers felt very heavy with their self image. And then I was like, something has to be done because the ripple effect is going on the children. And then finally, I met this mom from South Africa. And she said, what you're talking about, I should stop talking like that because children are listening to us all the time. And they will have a bad self image of themselves if we have it. And then she said something worse can happen than that. So I was like, what's worse than that? They're like, what if the kids are walking on the street and somebody tells them, hey, you look like your mom? And they turn around and they just for a second feel we don't want to, because like physically we don't want to look like her because we're not so beautiful, because the mom is always saying I'm not beautiful. So then I launched this project called It Has to Be Done. 100 self-portraits, 100 dreams, 100 inspiring stories of mothers will come out. And this book is for that mom who wants to give up in the dark and say, I can't do it anymore. The whole house is sleeping. It's a very common scenario for mothers across the world, that it's very dark, everybody slept, and she's awake, thinking, I can't do it. And she will flip this book one by one, page by page, and say, if these moms can do it, so can I. So the project was born, and then it took its own momentum.
Wow. This is incredible how you started that movement, because it's so incredible, inspiring, especially because a lot of people don't see the power of moms, but also is the self-image that's going within each and every one of us, especially when it comes to how we look, how the light looks, how did we get the right side and all that, right? And when you're saying about the moms that had a lot of self-image, but heavy self-image, that's also something that I believe a lot of experience when it comes to business and to all that. But with that being said, moms are a business manager, if you will, because they run a company with little children, right? So
Yes,
it's
I
the
do.
same, right? And it's beautiful that you brought it, because moms have so much power to bring to that word. And I see that also Elizabeth and Michelle here with us. Hey, hey, good to see you guys. Um, and just creating that movement, what kind of lessons did you have from it? What did you saw that was shifting?
I've had literally spiritual breakthroughs taking this movement and meeting such incredible mothers. Each one of them has taught me something, and I have many stories to share. This is such a passion project for me that I can talk for 6 hours, 10 hours continuously and not get tired. But the biggest story I've it's not a story, but the biggest lesson that I can grab from this is that um, mothers are the solution. I know I'm making a very
Mm.
big statement all the time, but mothers are the solution for the society's problems today, you know. And the
Mothers are the
mother,
solution.
mothers cannot give up. If mothers start to give up, the society can't go because the creator is a mother. It's a mother pulse. And I'm not saying that dads don't help and fathers are not there. But while I was in the middle of these interviews, right in the middle of about 35th or 50th interview, I woke up and I was like, you know what? The dinosaurs also had a mom. And if
True.
dinosaur had a mom, that means mothers are existing for thousands of years. And the dinosaur mom exactly knew what to do with her children. She did not need any outer validation, no courses, no nothing. She was aligned. And we are part of the same lineage, an ancient pulse till today. But today we are getting very off, and any kind of mother, when they start giving up, extinction happens. So today,
Mm.
if the bee is going to get extinct, it's going to be because the mothers don't want to produce it anymore or can't produce kids like more of their offsprings. And can't could be because of the stress, because of the health, because of whatever. So when
It's not
extinction
easy to be a
happens,
mom.
yeah, so extinction will happen. So that's my biggest learning, that if we need to save up, the mom pulse needs to vibrate back and take the charge. And not to say that you have to not live your dreams, you will live your dreams even better when you take charge rather than running away from this pulse. And that's what my whole work is, to bring that pulse back alive.
Oh, that was so. This is so true because, like you mentioned, if the mother don't take charge, they don't lead by example, the kid learn it, the kid mimic it. If it's mothers and fathers as well, but mothers are the ones that brought the child into that world. Right? And for me, for example, my mom is a single mom that she raised 4 kids alone, like completely alone, just her trying to raise us in every single way. And that was a huge inspiration for me because she could give up. She could say, no, I can't raise those 4 kids alone, right? But the strengths she had taught me as well about strengths and what is strengths, and how to actually moving forward and not giving up, which is so true. The mothers are the foundation of the house in that place. So when you teach that self-portrait and bringing those moms together, how is the self-portrait helping them?
So what happens is that camera when in a, like so I also taught photography, and what happens is when you give my if I give my students a scene to do, okay, I'm standing here, I'm standing right here. You take a picture of me, and I put two students right opposite of me, and I said, ready, steady, go. Together, you go. Even then, both of them will not have the same picture of me. And the reason why that happens is because our fingers respond to the way we are seeing, like brain wise, like our eyes are seeing something. The perception of me will be shown in the picture. Somebody might take a close up of me, and somebody might take a little, a further shot of me. And somebody would have captured a smile, and somebody would have captured me seriously. So the perception of the person behind the camera creates the thing. That's why when mothers were giving up in my shoots, I had to change my perception and see the light in them so that they could shine light in the pictures.
Mm.
So it's the way you see is what's going to be creative. Now what happens is that you tell somebody else to take the portrait. Uh, the fact is that they will always bring their perception of who you are. The idea here was 100 women must find themselves again and do their own self portrait, and that's a journey. People who've taken it very, their mothers who've taken it very seriously to another level, and they had to solve Because if I leave you alone with the camera, you know, amount of chatter that surrounds us, it's unbelievable. Even if there's
Unbelievable.
nobody in the thing, you will look at the camera and like, now what? Like, now how do I shoot myself? And then you'll keep going and deleting and criticizing and doing it, even if you're alone. But the day you start, everybody, all of us, all of us are like that. So I wanted mothers to start finding themselves, to be able to spend time with their own image, to be able to find their own image and tell the world the story the way they want to tell the story. Not, and of course, it's a very difficult process. It's almost takes a lot of shedding, and mothers are doing it, and that's why I made it a little easy. And I said, okay, you guys can't do it alone. Sometimes you need help of another person, but at least curate your whole picture fully by yourself. Tell your story the way you want to tell the story, rather than coming saying, "Hey, I see light in you." If you don't see light in yourself, then this picture, this celebration is of no use. So these 100 stories must be celebrated because you saw the light in you to give light to others, to inspire other mothers. So you can say that hey, I showed up, time for you to show up. And hey, this is my story, and time for your story to come out in the world as well. And if I can do it, so can you. So there is no criteria that I've taken for these 100 moms, or you have to fill out to pay this much money, nothing. You came in my life when this project was on and knocked the door, however, with a clue or whatever. And I opened the door and I said, come in. So for me, it's just 100 shades of mothers. And there might be thousands, there might be millions, but every mother should start finding themselves. And my vision is that people are asking me, are you going to take on more volumes? I'm like, no. These are the 100 moms forever. They're going to echo because through them, the vibrations and the frequency we need to create will be created. And I'm working on that. And I'm bringing them to India. And I have a picture that there'll be a drone hired and all 100 moms locking arms and looking up
Oh,
to tell the world we are coming. We are coming. So I have like the place where I want to host them. It's a hill. So I want to do that, and I want people to know that mothers are locking arms to protect the world again. So that's the vision.
locking arms to protect the world again. Beautiful. And like you said, moms are a huge force. And I see that Elizabeth here, I'm seeing your comments, guys, right here. Elizabeth says mothers do have the solution. They know what to do. Mothers cannot give up. This is so true. Also, Melanie, mothers brought all humans into the world. Without us, there is no you. So true. Guys, I love
Yeah,
the comments. They're so on point. Um,
yeah.
and I love what you
Just
do, Shika, because it shows how the mothers bring the light to that word.
yes,
And
yeah.
I can't wait to see the photo, like the whole mothers locking arms. Oh my God, that's going to be
That's
epic.
yeah, that's my picture in my this thing. And when Malini said, I was called to Rotary Club, and by a mother who's incredible. She hosted me in a Rotary Club. She's part of the Rotary Club in India. And then I suddenly entered, and there were only men in the audience. Not only men, but there were many men in the audience. And I was like, now they will know that a photographer, because they all expected a photographer going on stage. And I
Hmm.
was like, I'm talking about mums. So I needed to connect the dot for men sitting there. Say that, okay, she's talking about women issues and self-image. What do we do about it, right? So I went there on stage, and what you just said, what Melody just said, I said, okay, people who have mothers, who've been birthed by a mother, just raise their hands, rest, everybody can sit. And then suddenly everybody just like, they're like, what did you just say? I was like, yeah, people who have been birthed by a mother, just raise your hand and everybody else sit. And then suddenly everybody's eyes was glued to what I was trying to say. So I was like, what I'm going to talk about today is very much connected to you. Because if you either have been birthed by a mother, or you've had a daughter, or you've had a wife who had children, so you are surrounded by mothers all the time. So this is equally relevant to you. And I connected men to that thing. And so Melanie's right. Everybody has a mother for sure, and of course they all have a father as well. But the mother issue is very, very important at this moment. And I've been raised by a beautiful father, so maybe there's someday a project coming on father as well. But right now I'm on mother's project.
Which is it's beautiful, like I mentioned, um, because again, the mothers are the roots. Because without a mom to carry the child for 9 months, there's no child. Of course, you need a part of the father, but still the mother is carrying the child for 9 months and then bring to the world. Um, what I wanted to ask you is also, right, when you're, first of all, I love how you connected the dots. Let the ones that brought by moms raise the hands. That was brilliant.
To wake
So
up
guys, if
the
you're
audience.
brought by mom, say yes in the replay.
So we have to join the dots, and we all can't fight all the issues. We can't find issues of father. I can't do everything. But I can tell you what I'm doing is important if you want the next generation to start rippling, or we don't want extinction. We are very much, we are very much to be saved if you don't want extinction. Simple.
That's so true. So, Shika, I'm sure that during that time, sometimes some doubts came in, sometimes some fears came out. What was the why that gave you the drive to keep going and not stop at any moment?
I think it just my whys just kept on developing at different levels at different time, and I've had my own journey. One, the why was that it started with like I've seen mothers hiding behind the camera. From there, it went on to me hiding behind the cameras and not wanting to be showing up for my dreams or for my pictures of my children. And then I suddenly had a breakthrough of my mother, who was taken away when I was 6 years old, of not showing up for so many years for her children. And then I had a breakthrough realizing that this woman has left. She had to be taken away at that time because she was schizophrenic and she was being violent. And she knew where we stayed, but she was an educated person and never came back. And then I had a breakthrough knowing that she knew what she was doing. Like she did it for us. And it's not that she was taken away and she was being violent. She did it for us. And she was taken away and she was being violent.
Hmm.
And
Shika, are you here with
yeah,
us?
I was talking. Did I get? Yeah, I think my internet got unstable.
No?
But I'm
Yeah,
back.
you're back. You're back.
I was saying that the why changed from mothers to me to my mother, realizing that she has been silently sitting to like her like I've had children, I got schizophrenic, I was violent, I was taken away, and now I will sit and wait. So that was a silent suffering happening. And I had a breakthrough of realizing that I think it's her now speaking through me because she's been waiting for me to grow up so that I can do this. And she did it willingly. And it's nobody can take a mother away from a child because I'm a mom myself. You can't take a child away from a mother without her will. So I realized that she silently suffered. So that became another why. That why did she do it, and that why kept on coming in. And then the mother stories that came out was so incredibly inspiring that I was blown away with what all mothers can do when it comes down to like your story itself is a very inspiring one. Your mom's story when I heard that I'm totally blown away with how is this happening and not being honored on a very formal platform. So I became even more rooted with her whole thing. Then I saw my children getting connected to my project. So the ripple effect was going on my children. That why I became more connected. And I knew that my child was watching. And at 75th interview, I had to stop because I was going 100 days, 100 moms. I was going at very speed. I was still with my sleepless night with my younger one, but I was still going strong with change of cities, COVID, everything. I was proving that you can do it, you can dream. And then my younger one got burnt in the middle with a hot tea on his face, like badly burnt. I had to like just stop the project. And then when I was in the hospital, I suddenly had this. I was looking at him, and I felt a lot of support from mothers at that time. And I felt these mothers I've interviewed are holding me in their spirit. And then their stories kept on coming to me. And then the sentence came: "If they can do it, so can I." And then suddenly the joints connected. Then my God, I started this project saying, if they can do it, so can I. Because we've had mothers here who've had children with 16 surgeries on their brain, with kids, they've lost their children. A lot of stuff that mothers went through it. And I'm like, it's a superficial burn. Yes, it looks horrible. He's 2 years old, but And I felt it. And then I and held that energy, and I realized this book must come out as, and I must echo this book. And then after a month, my older one came, who's 8 years old, and said, "Ma, you're 75. You can do 100. It's your dream to do 100." And then he pushed me to start the project again. And then I did the 100th. And on my 40th
Wow.
birthday, I finished the 100th mom, leaving the 100th mom. And so I realized that this is joining of the dots. It is happening for the right things. It is going in the right direction. And so the whys kept on becoming stronger. And now I suddenly feel the time of the birthing of the book, because I'll finish 1 year. Actually, you're interviewing me in another 4 5 days. I will be finishing 1 year of this whole project when I started it.
Whoa,
So with 1 more
congratulations.
year, yeah, we're working on this project. So the birthing time has come. Soon we will be together in India with that, finishing with that picture for the media and the world. And mothers matter. They matter. You must honor them. So that's where the why came from.
Well, thank you for sharing that. This is amazing because you said, right, you saw those stories, it was inspiring, and you want to keep sharing and honoring those stories that no one usually hear, right? That they're fading away in a way, right? And also, not just that, when what happened to your child and you felt their spirit like pushing you, and that sentence is so vital and strong. Like they can do it, so can I.
Okay. Yeah.
They can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
And that's a great sentence, guys. Like write it down. Like if those moms can do it, so can you. Believe in your dream.
Yeah.
Go get that dream. Don't let it fade away. Don't let your story fade away. Keep going.
Right.
And I wanted to ask, like, what are the top 3 habits that helped you, that you developed, that helped you the most to keep going? Because you're doing the photography around 20 years, right? And now with the self-portrait and all of that, you could give in easily, but you had, I'm sure you have some habits that helped you, that support you. What was those 3 top habits?
I think one is like there's a voice here which is always giving you a clue. I think, like I always say it in our head, like I feel it, that it's sitting right here. I always say the teacher is sitting inside of us. We don't have to find the teachers outside, and that is not a sentence just to say for the sake of saying it. So I hear it, but I take actions immediately. I'm like, forget about the thinking, forget about how you're going to do it. And all this we are learning now, but all my life, I'm just like, you want to do it now. And, I was on the fifth mom, and I was doing interview once a week when I started it. Because, of course, I was raising children and I'd moved cities, and so much happened in COVID times and online classes. But then I went to my fifth mother, Jamile's hypnosis session. She called me at 3:30 a.m. Renu gifted it to me, who was a fourth mom, and she's like, "You must go, and you're anyway interviewing her. You'll get to know her more." So I was like, "Fine, I'll come." And then 3:30 a.m. And I was like, I'm like, I'm going to be awake because of my child usually, but I'll not even listen to what you're saying. And for the first 40 minutes, I just couldn't grasp anything. I was very groggy. 3:30 a.m. Who listens to anything? And suddenly I heard her voice right next to my ears. I remember it. I was lying down and listening to the Bluetooth, and the voice said, "The warrior has arrived. Do what you're meant to do now." And I just woke up thinking that it's something, it's like unbelievably real on my this thing. And within 2 hours, I went online and I said, 100 days, 100 inspiring stories, 100 dreams will be done. I didn't know where I'll find the mothers. But the habit was do it anyway and announce it to the world. There's no backing off. Go and announce it to the world and say you are doing it, and just start saying, I'm doing it. Like I am telling everybody, I am getting this picture done of 100 mothers locking. I have a lot of questions being asked. What if mothers, all 100 mothers don't come? I like, all 100 will be here. What if they don't come? I said, they are coming. And that's it. Just keep saying that. So the habit is listen to the voice, jump on, announce to the world, and just start walking. Everything, like 100 interviews were done in spite of, so much happening. It'll just happen. If you're going to just sit down and start thinking about it, it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
Well,
Just do it. Just like, and announcing to the world. I feel when you take the spotlight and go and stand on the stage and say I'm doing it, there will be 1,000 eyes asking you. You said it that you're going to do it. What happened? Now I'm walking everywhere and people are asking when is the book? When is the book? And I'm like, yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Because now there are almost thousands of people who are asking me every day, everywhere. I'm getting messages, and there's no backing off. There's no option to back off. It has to happen. So that's the habit,
yes.
I think, that survived me all my life.
So listen to the voice that keeps telling you moving forward and just doing it, right?
Yeah, take the clue, pick it up, and say, I trust you, and just go ahead.
And just do it. This is amazing because a lot of people disregard it of taking the action, right? And listen to the voice inside, and which you did, and you're creating a movement, a huge movement, right? You could give in easily to the voice, to the other voice saying, no, you can't do it. No, that's too much. How will you get 100 moms? How will you do that? When we're giving in to the tyranny of how, that's when we're losing it. I
I'm,
remember also when I did that, what is it?
I said, I'm also asked, how are you going to pay for their sponsorship? I said, I don't know, but they all are going to get sponsored and they're going to come here.
And it will
So
happen.
it's happening.
Because when you believe it and you're giving that goal and you're never giving up, it will reach, it will happen. One way or another, will happen. And I love that. Like, I remember when I did the 365 challenge for myself, when I did every single video, I thought like, what the hell did I commit right now? I don't know what I'm going to talk each day. And there you go as well. 100 days, 100 moms, interview 100 moms every single, that's like crazy, but amazing. Like not giving up with that. And Elizabeth said here, like, Shikha is so inspiring. Every time I hear your story, I get tears in my eyes, and beautiful son inspiring and supporting you. It's huge. It's amazing. I love the story how your son supports you as well. Because usually the kids maybe don't know how to support. And it's beautiful that he's like, get you and like keep going. And it's beautiful.
I'm not only supported by my son, Aiden, I'm supported by everybody who's coming my way, including you, including these mothers. And I can't even start to mention that the amount of love. The only thing I've also done is I'm just receiving. I'm learning to receive.
Yes, for sure.
And I always say that if we lie low on a mountain and just tell the children, lie low and see this is the grass, they will always see the grass. We climb up, taking them on our backs and say, see the height and see the world from there. They will have a new view. And rather than, sitting there, let's just make an effort to rise up. Like you said, just rise up and just go up. And from that height, show the world, show your children the world that will just take them only higher. And they will see a bigger view of the world. And they need to see their moms doing it or dads doing it. And when we do it every single day, you rise up.
When we lead by example, we rise up. Definitely. When we show them the way how to climb the mountain, they will climb after us. You just need to show them and keep believing that you can reach the top of the mountain and do it one step
You're
at
an
a time.
example as well. You've done it. You've done it as well. And I've had a beautiful conversation with you, Eden, as well. And I love the fact that how sometimes children, including like we have Frank in the book, how much sometimes children are holding on to their mother's story, but they don't know how to release it to the world and tell the world that my mom, she is a superstar, and that's the movement I'm creating. That if your mom can speak it, then you speak up. Like that's what's happening with Frank, who's one of the sons in the book. If your mom couldn't get a chance to speak up, you speak up. Like speak up for her, create this movement and add to the movement by speaking up for her. So it's incredible.
Your mom speak it, you can speak it. Ooh, it is beautiful. And Shika, you're also right a self-portrait master, if you will, right? And you help your audience, right? Your moms, right? To tap into their confidence in themselves, to take themselves, their business, or maybe not just their business, but themselves, right, to the next level. How people that are listening right here, how they can use the self-portrait to get that confidence in their business and in their launches and what they are doing.
I think I would like to give few tips. I don't know how many I will give, but I'll just speak up for 2 3 minutes because again I'm a spontaneous person, and I you told me to be prepared, but I'm not prepared because there's so much to talk about that books can be written. The
I
very
love
first step,
spontaneous as well.
yeah. So the very first step of self-portrait is just to understand why do you need it? Like, why are you talking about self-portrait, and how is it different from selfie? Well, self-portrait is a portrait of yourself. And when you take a portrait of anybody as a photographer, you start to look at them, so if I was to take your portrait, I would be doing some research how to make Eden look like himself or his message or whatever, right? And self portrait is different from selfies because selfies is one angle or some angles that you take. It's very image based. It's very like, how do I look? Self portrait is who I am and how do I show up and what do I say. So that's the difference between selfie and a self portrait. For self portrait, you need to show through your pictures who you are, how do you want to show up, what do you want the world to look like. And rather than somebody else telling you, you are telling the world, look at me the way I want you to look at me, not the way you think I am. So, self portrait step one is a mindset work, which I generally do in my workshops for 2 days out of 5 days of workshop, in which we figure out, are you even realizing who's the person we are deleting? Are you even realizing the chatter that surrounds you when the camera goes up? Are you realizing why your shoulders are clenching the minute the camera comes up? Or why are you hiding? Or why are you slipping something in front of you? Or why are you just saying that not this side, not this side? Or why are you even saying that I'm not photogenic? Why are we saying these things? Where there's nothing called photogenic. I keep telling people, if I ask them, okay, you think you're not photogenic, what is photogenic? And then there's a blank usually because they're like, yeah, what is
Hmm.
photogenic? I'm like, yeah, define photogenic. Think about it. What is photogenic? Define. And nobody can define photogenic. Well, I think somebody looks nice. I said, what makes you look think that you will not look nice? So, the thing is that I'm not photogenic is a very common thing that's been ingrained in us. So, very first step of self-portrait is to come out of this whole thing that everybody's been unique. There is nothing called photogenic. Stop comparing yourself from others. There is technical difficulty, that's why your pictures are not coming nice. Or there is emotional difficulty, that's why your pictures are not coming nice. These are the two important tips that people should understand before criticizing their own selves. If you figure out the emotional part and you figure out the technical part, it's not possible to not take great pictures of yourself. So that's what the emotional first tip is. Sit down and figure out who you are. And that's what we do
Hmm.
this in my course. And then once you figure out who you are and what you want the world to say, things start to drop off and you just start to see a lot of beauty in you. And not only it's not in the mind you start seeing it, your face starts to get gentler. The tightness of the face goes away because you're accepting yourself and you're plunging into the whole thing without asking and being difficult to yourself. If you see my portrait, I think one day I should share it. A year back when I started this movement, and today, you will see how much softness has come back just to take this journey from that tight, tired look. Not that I'm not tired, not that I'm not raising children, not that I'm not running around, not that I'm not making a course. There's a lot of stress of the course comes out somewhere. But you'll see that the acceptance is, this is who I am and I deserve to shine. And that's the self-portrait movement. And the technical tip is that our selfie cameras do not, it's a wide angle camera. The closer you keep it, the longer your face looks. So that's why people don't keep it very close. You'll always see it. The selfie camera has to go further, and then it only has to go an angle from where you look nice because the tendency of a wide angle lens is to make everything go like that, and we just keep looking for our perfect self, but actually there's nothing a perfect self looking there. It's just subconsciously we know that it's not proportionate to how we look. Then we say, we look bad, and then we just give away the whole thing and we stop taking pictures. But technically, you're on a bad lens. The back lens is much better in the phones, and the better the phones, of course, the better the picture will come. And if you're on a camera, Like, a lot of times people just start criticizing themselves. We are very fat. We are looking really fat on our cheek. Well, you've used the zoom lens that has a tendency of making your face look a little fatter than it is. So it is not you. It's just good photos, good photographers, good light, bad light, good composition, bad composition. It is not good you, bad you, photogenic you, not photogenic me. It's not that. So that's the thing that I'm bringing through my work. That and this is the work done in spite of people who have done so much self work. They suddenly realize we've done so much self work, but we're still carrying this is nice, this is not okay, and then you know and you know what happened? A lot of times I've woken up straight from my dream and gone for an interview with my night t-shirt, and nobody's ever pointed at me because my confidence speaks louder than anything else. So that's the message I'm giving. Your message will speak louder, and I do exercises. People we look up to in the world, whether it's Mother Teresa, it's Oprah Winfrey. We don't sit down and start like criticizing them that how did they look? Look at them how they're looking. We just look up to them because of the message they're giving. We want to
Right.
be like them, right? And we want to be like them irrespective of how they're looking. Because I don't think so any of us can give us a list of, like, I really look up to Oprah Winfrey, and I can even think that I've even looked at her and said, this is not okay about her face, so that's not okay about her face. So I haven't. I've been just in awe of what she's doing, and I'm just like, this is just amazing. And you only feel sometimes if she's not well, you only feel bad for her. You do not judge her. You're like, Oprah is not well. So people, if they see me tired, I only get a message saying, Shikha, are you okay? They will not tell me, Shikha, you're not good looking, you're not photogenic. Why did you even think of coming online? How dare
No,
you?
they will
Like,
care. Yeah.
so that's the tips I'm saying, that there are good photos, there are bad photos, and they're just photos. Stop making the image so heavy that you can't walk on this earth light footed.
Hmm. Good photo, bad photo, and not you are bad, you're ugly, you're not good. No, that's not it. It's a good photo, bad photo. It's like you said, like keep trying and doing and not searching for the perfect photo because there is no perfect in that word. I love that you said that. And this is something I hugely believe. There is no perfection. Just good photo, bad photo,
Shades.
right?
There are only shades of you. And imagine if we part
Shades of
from
you.
this
Ooh,
earth,
I love
we never saw any other shade except the shade of smile that we've practiced for so many years. We have hundreds of shades and we must show up in hundred of shades. Okay,
it.
okay, okay, there comes my kids.
Here comes the
So they
kid,
always come to my life. Yeah,
which
these
is
are the,
beautiful.
yeah, that's okay. Okay, I think all of them need to leave. I'll just shut them up.
That's what I love about the lives video. It's authentic, it's real, it's not trying to look perfect. It's just part of life, right? And that's what I love
It's
about the
perfect.
lives.
This is perfect. What is so
This
imperfect
is
about a child
perfect.
coming inside
This
when
is
you have
perfect.
children? What is so imperfect
Right.
about it? It is a perfect thing. If your
But
children are coming,
people
you are
think
so
like,
blessed.
no, I need to look professional. No, if a kid will enter, it won't look professional. Now that's BS. That's bullshit in our mind. That's not
And you
true.
don't lose anything. Like if you say, sorry, I need to shut the interview, nothing will be lost. And that's what I'm showing up like. You come in, you go out, you come in, they just came, they went out. I would rather not break their hearts for my dream. That's another thing. Like their hearts are very fragile. We must not break it just because I have a dream. But we must
Right.
not let go of our dream just because they are there. It has to coexist together. It has to coexist together.
And when we're talking about right on social media, on doing videos, showing yourself up, you need to show up also vulnerable, right? And just show up as it is, authentic, right? That's why it's the best when it's live, it's authentic. People see and connect to who you really are and what is happening in your life because it's happening in their life as well. So guys, don't be afraid to show up vulnerable. And in your house, if there are kids, it's great. It's part of your life. People will connect. I know one of my friends who she is a great coach, and always, most of her videos always with her baby, because it's a newborn. She need to be with a baby. So she won't say, no, I won't do a live because I have a baby right now. I won't do a video until I have the perfect time. That's again BS. Just release that perfection. This is perfection, like Shika said. This is perfection.
And people think men don't understand it. I have had such incredible men who have just like adored these things coming in, and they've said that it's okay, it's cute. I've got somebody I know who puts on these emojis where you become like a teddy bear and all when they come in between the calls and start making them laugh. So my kids, people know my kids as well, as much as they know me and they know about my children. And I just want to give that message to everybody. And my husband has started, he's a finance guy. Sometimes my kid is sitting in a finance meeting online with him because he's at home. And he's like, my kid can
Beautiful.
understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And he's tried to take that in the corporate world now. And that's the change we are making. That it's okay if they're coming and going. It's just 2 minutes, 3 minutes. They need to settle down, and or maybe it's not 3 minutes. Maybe it's a breakdown suddenly, and that's also okay.
Yeah, and I think the COVID made a lot of change in that,
Right,
because people start to work from home.
right,
I
right.
remember that reporter that was in the news that he started to work from home, and the kids show up and it was all over the place. But it was beautiful. It's part of the life.
Yeah, I've carried my children to all my older one to shoots before COVID. He would just keep playing in my background, and I would just go for shoots with him when he was a 6 month old, 5 month old. I would just always take him.
Elizabeth says here something nice. How adorable. Yes, your kids came to support you. How beautiful. They came to support you right now. And
They
Michelle
had
also
like,
said,
oh
I love
God,
you.
she's again. Yeah,
What
they're
is
like,
it?
oh God, she's again on live. Now they just went out without troubling me because they're like, oh God, she's again on live. So that's really thank you, Elizabeth,
So
Michelle, Lucy's
adorable.
watching as well, and Hang is
Yeah.
there to support, like just support through the comments. Melanie's there, like oh, I love all of them anyway. They're like just beautiful people, and I've learned so much from each one of them.
And I love that one of your top tips is like who you are, focus on the mindset, right? Because this is, first of all, if you're feeling sad, there won't be a good photo. It won't be a good photo no matter how you try. It's not that you're ugly, it's not that you're not looking good. I remember when I was depressed, no matter how much photos I took, it just looked bad because I was in the inside didn't felt well, right? So you gotta show up like as you want and as your people will want to see you, your clients, your family, your friends, right? Focus on who you are, which is
A lot of
amazing tip.
healing. There's a lot of healing also, Eden. A lot of healing in this whole journey because you start by saying, no, I don't want to I want to, and I better do it to inspire the world. That's the journey. And visual journey is the most difficult one because when you do a word based journey, I still feel that you can escape showing up. You think you are by just writing content and putting, when you're putting your picture every single day, there's no escape, and there's only a
No,
rising up again. There's no escape, like, and the journey on the other side is beautiful because your shoulders become very free. You don't feel heavy anymore. We're very light footed on this earth, and we are very heavy footed walking very heavily with our image. So
because you release it.
yes, we do.
So if we're talking right about it on the social media aspect, like what tip can you give about attracting the audience with the good photo, if you will, with making a good
So
photo?
light is very important. Photography means painting with light. Also that we get stuck in a box way of showing up. So that's us for rest of our lives. But this is not us. Our hands, our feet, our twirling, our dancing, our everything is us. That's okay. I'm with you. I'm telling you, you're rising your spirit. Everything is us, and even standing up in your spirit is a great thing. And it can be shown not only in a box way, Eden. Like even you can use more of your hands. You can use freedom uh, anywhere. It doesn't have to end. here. And it doesn't have to end only by fixing your hair, a little bit of smile, and we are done. Every part of us, our hands, our face, our emotions are all us. So the social media connects to people who are showing like, and imagine like if you see the same person and you're scrolling and you're following the person, and they just keep showing up in the same way, only change their clothes, only change the background, but the same smile for the rest of their life. There's a disconnect subconsciously because you just get bored. So versus you not only change the background and shirt, but you come up with something else which is not you, and you like show up with your
Hmm.
hands and you suddenly do this, or you do hands, do something with these hands as well, and come up with something, and suddenly like, why is she doing that? Like I recently had a post which went like got good comments where I had like both my hands on my eyes like that, and I'm sitting on the floor because I was talking about mothers must show up; they should not get stuck. And I'm sitting near a window like that. That's a very common thing of a mother, but they don't have to see my eye. They got the message by me sitting like that. So I would just tell people that become the viewer and see how boring the pictures are turning out to be. So once you become the viewer of your own profile, go do an audit and see that when I'm scrolling through and somebody's got interested in my message, and when I'm scrolling through, is there a variety that I can give them to see, or am I just like this one little tiny person that I'm showing up, which none of us are? Or are we just showing up like this part of us to the world, but actually we are this, and nobody's coming to know? So clients will get attracted online. When they scroll down, they're
Hmm.
like, wow, this, now she's doing this, now she's doing. So photography learning will help even in social media business, because you will learn light, you will learn composition, you will learn how background affects, how color affects, how to convert good black and white, how to make good black and white pictures. So I would suggest that people should scroll their own profiles and just go
Hmm.
down as a viewer, not as an involved person,
As a
and not
viewer.
looking down. As a viewer, view it as if you were about to buy from yourself. What are you going
Hmm.
to look at it and say that, oh, I look at it and
Nice.
I'm like,
So light, right? And how you and see it as a viewer. Love it. Yeah, and we're about to wrap it up in a few minutes.
yes,
Um,
yes.
would love to ask you, if you can go back in time, what advice will you give to your younger self?
Um, I've had very incredible life. I must say that I've always, I would just say to my little younger self that, because I've had various journeys and every journey has only taught me. But this common thing was that every time I came to a point where I was about to give up, I just reminded myself that I'm surrounded by a lot of love and a lot of gift and a lot of blessing, and do not forget that. And if I reached out, there will be many hands coming for me. So that belief itself would bring me back. So I remind my younger self always that don't forget that you are loved. Do not underestimate. Yes, you love the world. Yes, we all think we love the world, but we forget that we are loved as well. And when we start to feel that, we start uplifting ourselves and we start going towards it, because it only multiplies, right? When you
Mhm.
feel in a warm, cozy love of the world, then you want to give more to them. It is a responsible position from where you want to give. But when you are in a lack and you think you're not loved and nobody will listen to my voice and nobody ever did this and so many things happened to me,
Hmm.
so I will just tell my younger self that don't forget that you are loved, and I've always found it. I've always found it every time I reminded myself that you are very loved. But when I forgot that I'm not and I went into a lack situation, I was losing myself. So I just tell myself that remember, that's how you were loved last time you lost, got lost. Before that, this is how you were loved. And that's my
Mhm.
advice. Look at the love
That
that
you
you
are
are
loved.
surrounded. Yeah, you're
That
loved.
you are
We
loved.
are all. Yeah, we are all, and we all do go through difficult circumstances, but we find love very easily. It's not a difficult thing to find, and that belief multiplies in many forms in spite of the difficulty and takes us out to a world, and sometimes even creates movements like this.
Oh, beautiful. That you're loved, definitely. And even if you feel a little like you don't have people around you that you love, still feel in love with yourself. Feel that there is a love surrounded you.
It is, and It's in the light. Have you ever noticed light? You're sitting in a room,
Mhm.
just sit in a room and start noticing light. The light dances around you. The sun from one window to another window is dancing and enticing you to be happy. Fall in love with it.
Oh,
It is not
beautiful.
static. So, so the love is in various forms and it's always dancing around you. Sometimes a bee comes and sometimes a buzz comes and then you just like you're so loved and you look at the tree and you're like, wow, thank God I'm not in a desert where there's no tree. That is love. You are
That
surrounded by
is
love. You don't need words. You don't need hugs sometimes. That's love if you have flowers falling in the morning. That is love that you have sunlight coming inside your house and you're not in a dark room sitting alone being unhappy. So it is there,
correct.
but you just need to walk out and remind yourself that you're loved and we're just getting stuck and nothing else.
Oh, that's beautiful. One last question. Like, if you had a chance to deliver the one message that will stay written in history, what will it be?
I think at this moment, the message is carry your children on your
Mhm.
back and climb the mountain because the view is much better from there rather than lying low and seeing the world from there.
Climb the
So
mountain.
climb the mountain with your children. Do not either leave them behind or never climb up. So just climb with them and show them the world and see the view, and the world will open for the world.
This is beautiful. Climb the mountain. I love it. With your children, not alone.
Yeah.
With your children.
And it's not necessarily children that you birth. We all have children around us. Hold hands and show them the world. And it's very difficult. That's why we have bonus moms here, and both of them are in the comments. And we have Lucy and Elizabeth, who are bonus moms in the book. And we call them not step moms because we need to change this crooked nose image.
Mm.
Napoleon Hill, I just read yesterday, was it was a very beautiful story, and Elizabeth and Lucy must hear this because they're in the comments. And I was listening, reading it. The Napoleon Hill was a very naughty kid, and all of us know Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. So he was this. So when his father had married the second, came with the second wife, he was very scared, and he was saying like, "Oh my God, who's going to come in?" And sorry, I'm going to interview with you. Okay, go have the go. I don't know. Move, Babu, I'm just telling a story. So Napoleon Hill was the only one who was standing like that when the greeting came from the stepmom, saying that hi, and then father's like, here meet the guy who's a troublesome guy in this village. And he's standing there with staring eyes and saying, I don't want to meet this new mom of mine. And he owes, and his mom's like, no, he's the most beautiful boy on the surface of this earth. I've not met a more beautiful boy. And that, for the first time, Napoleon Hill was told. And his stepmother is the mother who created Napoleon Hill's maximum things that Napoleon Hill had. So when you hear this story, and then you hear a story where stepmoms are told that crooked nose moms who throw children out, I don't know why those stories are there. So we call them the bonus moms. They are the bonus moms when you do not have the opportunity to be with your mom. I've been raised by many bonus moms. All my aunts and all raised me because I was in a big joint family. And they are your bonus moms. And so much has come to me from them. And a Napoleon Hill kind of a person is being created by a bonus mom. And that's why I want to honor Elizabeth and Lucy, who are in the book as bonus moms. And they like their work is not going to go unnoticed. I'm going to bring it out in the stories. It
Oh,
is.
definitely. Oh, bonus moms. I love it. No stepmom, only bonus moms.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I didn't know that story about Napoleon Hill.
And I didn't know it. I saw it yesterday, and Lucy is saying thank you for telling me that story because I read it and I remembered. I'm like, see, I'm led by the universe to bring these stories because such creation happens when the mother pulse gets alive, and the mother pulse could be with a man like my father, or it could be it's the pulse that we need to save. It's very natural for women to have it, but it's the pulse we need to save. You, as a brother, probably had that mother pulse for your younger siblings to bring them up responsibility, as you were mentioning. So the pulse is a very real pulse and can go anywhere. So let's just bring that pulse alive again, and that's important. I'm starting a podcast series, actually an interview series called the Mom Vibes, and I'm going to bring in a father who I just look up to a lot, and he's raising a 6-year-old another country, and I've been talking to him for 2 years. So I'm going to bring the mother pulse of a father now, because people are saying don't stop your interviews, keep doing the interviews, let the book get created. So I'm starting the interviews again. I'm getting some interesting
Beautiful.
talks happening very soon, next week onwards, for
So how
interviews.
can people know more about you, Shikha?
My personal profile, I'm just there,
Post and
available
profile.
publicly, personal profile, and I think can manage only 100 moms, that personal profile, and 2 kids at the moment. I wish I can manage a little more. My dreams are like just multiplying, but I'm also learning to hold on, like do baby step, least mode, but do it really well and firm steps. So my personal profile on Facebook at the moment is where you will find whatever I will do. It will go from there wherever it goes and gets shared from there.
Your profile. That's great. One step at a time. You're taking one step at a time, and I will put the links here down below, so you can guys join Shikha. And also, she's doing a workshop around that, and we will talk more about it. But thank you, Shikha. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up and bringing a lot of good info, and not just info, but this energy, this amazing place and amazing tips. So thank you for being here. It was amazing. It went beyond the time that we want, but it's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eden, and good luck to you. And you're an inspiration in yourself. And I just feel that I love your group name as well, Rise Up. And so coincidentally, I was using that word a lot, so it's contagious. That word Rise Up is quite contagious. So we all should rise up. And thank you for patiently listening to a mom who's bringing so many moms. So you will, I must say that, because and we thank your mom to creating you as well. So we must thank her officially here that she's created you, and this you is getting honored today in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, my mom is amazing. So thank you for honoring that as well. So guys, thank you also for listening. Thank you for replying. Michelle said thank you. Elizabeth said thank you. So guys, keep the comments in the replay, and thank you for being here. Again, Shikha, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eden.
Let's rise up.
Let's rise up.